Let's turn the focus now onto basketball and hear from one of our homegrown talents who plays for the Manchester Magic team. Stefan Gill joins me here in the studio. Stefan, great to have you here in the studio. I mentioned there about one of the homegrown talents because, unfortunately, we'll come on how the Manchester Magic are doing, but generally, you're a Manchester lad, you're playing for Manchester Magic, but there's a lot of international players within the leagues, isn't there?
Oh yeah. We're competing against English-born players or players with British passports who are playing overseas in Europe and in the States.
You've got hopes for England, 2012. Obviously, they've got themselves into the Olympics, and it'd be a big surprise, I suppose, if we didn't see England there. But then you've got the giants of America who will be competing. Yeah,
but I think we could definitely compete there, and a personal gain of mine, like a personal hope of mine, is to be part of that.
So you're pretty close to the England setup at the moment, which would be fantastic. So you're an Englishman, but you're competing against international players to get into the England side, is that right?
Yes, that is, but that's the fun of it, though. You wouldn't play the game if you didn't have any competition at all. Well,
what's it like for you, then, coming from this area, Manchester, because you're 26 now. This is your last chance to get into an Olympics, isn't it, in 2012?
I wouldn't say my last chance. Chances are thin now, but coming from Manchester, I mean, we had a big basketball following a couple of years ago, maybe 10 years ago, with the Giants and everything else. If we can keep this reputation that we have going right now and, push the sport further, I don't see there being a problem.
Well, what feeling do you get? You've come through the ranks here in Manchester. What feeling do you get from the local youngsters? I would imagine it's one of those things, if you walk around a lot of places in the streets in Manchester, you do see a lot of basketball being played. There's the odd facilities, or is that the case? It needs to be more facilities.
I think there are facilities out there. I think it needs to be pushed a little bit more in terms of the marketing side of it, the advertising and everything else, but which then comes down to finances.
But kids are playing it in Manchester.
Kids are playing it. There's a lot of kids playing basketball in Manchester.
The Manchester Magic are doing exceptionally well. I know your season just started, but you're going well in the Cup, in the warm-up, and you've gone off to a flyer in the league. So your team does well. Hopefully that brings along the kids.
That brings along the kids, and, the kids aspire to be part of that at one point.
And what's the support like been so far for the Manchester Magic?
For Magic?
Yeah.
It's been fine. It's been great. We've had more support now than we've had in previous years, so we are moving forwards. We've got more wins under our belts, so we're doing well in that perspective. And
what's the hopes for the season for the team? You're not in the top flight. I think it's important to point that out. And that's
no, we're in Division 1, which is the second tier of British basketball. We would like to progress. I know that's an aim of the coaches, to move up. It would do a lot for the profile, for the sport, and a lot for the city. So, I think it's one of those things that we definitely need to push towards.
OK. Just a couple of years, we'll wrap up then. A couple of years left then. So your aim now, Olympics. English player, a Manchester lad, playing basketball in the Olympics.
Yes, definitely.
OK, we'll wish you well in that, and wish you well for the season as well.
Thank you.
Manchester Magic.